Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Gift of Gab. I'm your host, Gab, and today I'm breaking up with the fight with my skin. Y'all, I have had acne since I was about 12 or 13 years old. I have very textured skin, I have large pores, I have lots of spotting, hyper and hypopigmentation, and I feel like I have been in a battle with it to do what I wanted to do for well over 20 years now. And I actually started thinking about this several weeks ago about the fact that, like, I just don't want to fight my skin anymore. Um, I had tried every acne medicine you can think of, from creams to pills, birth control. And let me just say, for the girlies that know, trying to figure out which birth control works for you, which one is not going to exacerbate your acne, which one is going to like help you with like all the things that birth control are supposed to help you with aside from not getting pregnant. Y'all, that in itself was about. I had such a hard time with figuring out what birth control worked for me, so I stopped. My underarms were turning so super jet black. um I was super moody. I was very depressed. Like, the birth control made things harder for me. So not only did it not help with my acne, it did not even like, it just kept me from getting pregnant. So I stopped trying that, and I just kind of focused on, you know, things that other medicines that directly targeted the acne. I've tried Accutane, and if you know anything about Accutane and how hard that can be on your body, it was so bad on me that like I had such severe back pain. My bottom lip, y'all, swole up, and it was like highlighter pink. It was so bad. And then, like, they make you sign something saying that you won't get pregnant while you're on it, because that can cause, while you're taking Accutane, if you get pregnant, it can cause severe medical issues with the fetus. So, even at that time, like, I wasn't thinking like, oh my God, like, if it can do that much damage to a baby, then why am I taking this? Right. I just knew I wanted skin that looked more aesthetically pleasing, right? It was smoother, and it was didn't have so much acne. And let me just say, today's a good skin day. Okay. I've done my routine, which is just like, for the night, I've washed and moisturized, and that's it. So a few weeks ago, I decided that, you know what, it was more like a few months ago actually, but I decided that, like, you know what, I'm gonna try this last round of like medicine that my doctor wants me to try. She expressed how like this particular medicine that she was putting me on was supposed to like more accurately target the bacteria that causes acne. And then there was another one that was just supposed to like basically make sure that like I didn't have, I guess, too much testosterone or something like that. And, like, I did blood testing several times to make sure that my hormones are in place and different things like that. And just, y'all, this last time with doing all of those things, it was just so hard. It was really rough. Like, the medicine caused me to not only gain weight, but it caused me to just break out in places I had never broken out before, y'all. Like, I'm accustomed to the acne that comes here, and that's an indication of like the hormones. They say like something's going on with your hormones. But I started breaking out. Like, I started getting pimples on my ear, in the crevices of my nose. I started getting pimples like under here. Like, it was just so random. And on my forehead, and I never get pimples there. And it was really hard. So just having went through that, just today I just made the decision that, like, I'm not gonna fight with my skin anymore. I'm actually gonna be friends with her. And specifically, I'm not gonna try to fight the acne anymore. Like, I'm just gonna let it do what it do. I'm just gonna be friends with my skin. I am. I'm just gonna be friends with my skin, y'all. I what I know is, like, it doesn't make me less, you know, worthy. the fact that I have textured skin or discolored skin. It doesn't make me any less beautiful. It just gives me a little flavor. If you know me, you know I love leopard. So I feel like God made me like half leopard and a bunch of auntie. So um yeah, so I don't feel like I'm giving up on my like skin. I just feel like I just don't want to fight it that way anymore. I don't want to fight it at all. Right. And I know that there are people who are going to come and be like, oh, Gab, like I've seen worse. Y'all don't do that. Don't do that. Because it just diminishes, to me, it diminishes the fact that like I felt a way about my skin. I felt like, I didn't want people to see me and just be looking at my face like, dang, like look at her skin, like look at the spots and look at this and look at that. Like don't do that, because I just feels like and I've had that happen to me. I've had people just come up and be like, well, I've seen worse and blah blah. I'm like, well, y'all, that doesn't take away the fact that like I still feel like my skin is the worst, right? Like this is my own journey. So don't discount it, and don't do it to somebody else. Don't tell somebody else like I've seen worse. There's worse of everything out there. But it feels like sometimes when people say that to you, like it just diminishes the fact that like, but I am dealing with the way my skin looks, and it affects me, and you're just like not taking into account my feelings. You just think I should just be cool with it because somebody else has it worse. So y'all, let's not do that here on Gift of Gab. um but yeah, so I just, when I saw my dermatologist today, I just said, basically like, how do I wean myself off of this medicine? I just don't want to do this anymore. I don't want another pill. As far as acne goes, I don't want another cream. I just don't. And I've spent thousands, thousands of dollars, y'all, on like skincare. Thousands of it. Again, you name it, I've tried it. I've tried Accutane, I've tried Curology, Apostrophe, I've tried things that like the doctors had made in their own offices, like their own skincare line. I've tried Neutrogena. And Neutrogena was back in the day, right? When like Neutrogena was like the brand. And it really wasn't for us. I don't think, like, I didn't have a good experience with it, and none of the other like black girls I knew had good experiences with it. And I'm not saying Neutrogena ain't good. I'm just saying like at the time I didn't have a good experience with it. Y'all remember Noxzema? Oh my god, I remember trying Noxzema when I was younger. And between the burning and the breakout, y'all, it was so hard. It was absolutely horrible. I will say I had success with Curology early on. And then I messed that up. Like Curology got me to like a great point in my skincare journey. My skin texture was a lot smoother. My spots were fading. Um, my acne was like really under control. The only time I really had like a breakout was around my period. Other than that, like nothing crazy. And then I introduced another product into my skincare, because the one thing that wasn't happening with the Curology was that my skin it didn't have a glow. I looked really like just dull. So I introduced something to try to give myself a glow, and that just like messed things up. And I could never use the Curology again. Hey girl, looking to deepen your walk with God and reflect more intentionally? Well, the God Promise Journal is your 30-day companion for prayer, scripture journaling, and personal growth. Y'all, this journal was thoughtfully designed with guided prompts, inspiring verses, and space to pour out your heart. I promise it's more than a journal. It's a spiritual journey. And as a special gift for Gift of Gab listeners, use code GIFTOFGAB20 at checkout to save 20% on your order today. Visit the link below to start writing your walk with God. We're going to Apostrophe. Apostrophe did the same thing, like got me right, got me together. And then the only thing Apostrophe did not do for me was like it did not clear the discoloration, and it really didn't fix the texture or even out my texture. So they recommended that I go see a dermatologist, and that's when I got introduced to my current dermatologist to go and try to take care of to take care of the discoloration and texture and large pores and things like that. And at some point I ran out of the apostrophe, and basically my dermatologist was like, oh, like we can like take care of you here. um and needless to say, like, it just didn't work out. And I know I can go back to the apostrophe, but like, it's also super expensive, y'all. It's like very expensive. And when it comes to my skin moving forward, I just want to do something practical, right? So I'm not going to jump off the deep end and like try to kill my skin barrier or just ruin the progress, because I have made some progress, but so try not to ruin the progress that has been made. But really just love on it, embrace it, like really become friends with my skin, and just figure out a way to keep it healthy and keep, keep myself like just not covering myself up with makeup. I will say, even though I've always had like skin like this, I've never shied away from showing up to or on anything with my bare face. I've never ever shied away from that ever. I posted videos, pictures, things with just my skin, probably not necessarily close-ups, but I have posted them. I do go out to stores and different things with no makeup. I typically wear makeup on Gift of Gab just because, I want to present myself in a little bit more of a professional manner, things like that. And I know you don't have to have makeup to be professional. That's just the way I like to show up on Gift of Gab, right? A little more glitz and glam. Um, but now I'm just on a journey to just find something, like I said, that keeps my skin hydrated, that keeps me like that, hopefully will help with the spotting. If the acne gets helped in the process, fantastic. If not, like, I'm cool with a few pimples. Like, I just am these days. And I think it's just, y'all, I just feel like there are so many other battles I could fight in life, and I just don't want my skin to be one of them anymore. I really don't. And let me just say, this video is not intended for you all to stop what you're doing with your healthcare provider. I'm not trying to provide any type of health advice or anything like that. If you have a regimen with your skincare provider, your health provider that works for you, keep at it. You go. Okay. I just decided that, like, I don't want to shell out any more money to dermatologists. I don't want to shell out any more money to pills and creams and things that just aren't working. And I know, like, some of y'all are going to see this and say, Gab, don't give up. I'm not giving up. Let me make this very clear. I'm not giving up. I'm just choosing to embrace what it is. I'm just choosing to embrace, you know, how my skin functions. And maybe that's a part of the, like, who knows, maybe my skin will do something different now that, like, I'm not trying to just throw all these different medicines and things at it, but really just give it a chance to do what it does. And, one thing that I have not thought about much is that, I'm almost 40. I say that proudly. I'm almost 40, which means my skin is mature skin now. So maybe that's also a part of, like, the restructuring of my regimen that I need to do to help my skin really, really thrive. I always drink water. I drink a lot of water. I work out like at minimum 3 days a week. I wear sunscreen religiously. Um, I face morning and night. I always moisturize. So I'm doing all of the basics. Y'all, please don't come on here telling me to drink celery juice, because I'm not. I'm not. Okay? Love you. Mean it. I'm not drinking celery juice. It's not happening. I don't like to eat celery. I don't like the smell of celery. I'm not about to drink celery. Okay? Honestly, y'all, I love y'all. I love y'all down. But I'm not about to drink none of that stuff. Like, I'm not. I'm not. I'm gonna stick to my water, and I'm gonna keep drinking all the water that I normally drink. I'm gonna make sure that I stay hydrated. I'm gonna make sure that I, continue with the things that I know that work for me and just figuring out new things that I can give a try that may help me. So this is a part of me making friends with my skin and no longer battling it, right? Just really taking an opportunity to just see what works for me, what works for it, and that's practical. I don't want to be doing, I will not do more than 4 steps in my skincare routine. I won't. I am not going to be one of those girls who's doing like 17 steps. I'm not. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. I'm just saying it's not for me. I'm not going to do it. So, yeah. So that's just what it is. So, if you take nothing away from this episode, I hope that you take away that, I want to make sure that Gift of Gab feels like a safe space for you all. So I am showing up here barefaced. I'm even going to do a close up on my skin because it is a safe space. This is a place where we can just be, where we can show up and say, you know what? I don't feel very confident in this area. And I haven't for a long time felt very confident in my skin. And I'm just choosing not to do that anymore. So, all right, here's a close up. Let me show y'all. And I'm not gonna be like, oh, like, Gabby, it's not that bad. We talked about this, right? Okay. So, here is my skin. Y'all can see my leopard spots. Shout out to God for the leopard spots. Here are more. And as you can see, like, I don't know if this camera is showing y'all, but I have very large pores. And let me say, shout out to my grandma, okay? Shout out to Lily Mae, because I am very oily. And Lily Mae was very oily. And my grandma passed away at 89 years old. And she had, like, my grandma just didn't look 89. And like her oil caused her to not have so many wrinkles. Like my grandma had very beautiful dark skin. So shout out to her for passing down the oil. And I know that's like a big part of like why I have acne, a lot of the oil. And I remember like telling one of my dermatologists, I was like, listen, I don't want y'all to take away all my oil. My grandma had oil and she aged very well. So if we gotta dry out all my oil, then we gotta like this ain't gonna work for me. So thank you, grandma, for the good genes. But anyways, thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for listening to me again. Don't let this video make you stop doing what you're doing, the path you're on with your healthcare provider. Do what works for you. Do what is best for you. This is just me showing up for myself. This is me advocating for myself. This is me taking control back. This is me partnering with my skin rather than fighting with it. So I hope y'all follow me on my skincare journey. I am going to try out some different products and I'll make sure that, I talk with y'all about them. So, yeah, as always, y'all, I love y'all. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Till next time.